from Plans Meet Paper, and today I wanted to come on and show you guys my planner and how it's been working for me so far for 2022. It is the last day of March, so the first quarter is just about over, and I just wanted to give you guys a look into how my systems have been working for me and what's been working really well, what hasn't, and kind of how those systems have helped me to achieve my goals for this first quarter. If you saw my goal planning video at the beginning of the year, you know that how I do my goal planning is different than how a lot of people do it. I'm a stay-at-home mom primarily right now, so my goals are just totally personally driven. I'm not in, any sort of office type job right now where I'm having to have certain goals for that. So for that reason, the way that I like to do my goals right now, and I think for a lot of especially personal goals or, personal development, anything like that, it's a really helpful way to do it is to think about goals more about just areas of your life that you want to focus on, and then what small habits you could work on every day or a certain number of days every week in order to really spend time developing that focus of your life. So that's what I did for quarter one is I just wrote out 7 habits that I wanted to work on that related to the 7 areas of my life that I want to develop and focus on for this year. So these are the things I was working on. You can go back and watch that video if you want to check out kind of how I do my goal planning and focusing throughout the year. But I have taken a look at these and kind of considered how I did for this first quarter of the year. And then I wrote out my kind of next steps. So the next habits that I want to work on for this second quarter of the year. So basically for the first quarter of the year, my main things I was working on, I wanted to make sure I was spending time reading the Bible and praying at least 6 days per week. I wanted to prioritize time for my husband and I, and not just get lazy at the end of the day and not spend time talking and checking in and doing things together. So I wanted to make that more of a priority. I wanted to read books to my kids every single day. I wanted to track our memories and work on being calm and collected throughout the day consistently. I wanted to, for my mental health, get up early 6 days per week, which I pretty much always do on weekdays. So I was kind of adding one of those weekend days in. Let's be real. I have little kids. I'm up early every day. But I mean early before they get up by an hour at least. So even one of the weekend days I want to do that. For me, that's getting up around 5 a.m. and that gives me time to work out or do my devotional or do something for myself, just something. It really helps my mental health as a mom to have a little bit of time in the morning before my kids are up. But of course, sometimes it's hard to get out of bed, especially on the weekends for me, before my kids are up. So I wanted to work on that. For my physical health, I wanted to be working out at least 5 days per week. And so I wanted to get in 39 Beachbody On Demand workouts and then also run those other days. And I didn't set a mile goal, but I wanted to add that in for the next quarter for my running. And then for my weekly habits, that's my homemaking habits. I wanted to try to get 15 out of 18 every week on average. So not missing too many things, too many of my cleaning habits and organizational and meal planning and that kind of thing. And then for business owning, I wanted to spend time on a product every week, like a video or a new product for Etsy. And I've done okay on that. I don't think I hit it every single week, but more often than not, I did. So that is good. And I feel like overall, working on these things, the main systems that have helped me to really stay on track and stay focused about these different goals are my habit tracking pages. These things have been so helpful for me. So this is this week. These are my daily routines, and that is where I track things like, reading books to my kids every day or doing preschool activities. This is where I track whether or not I'm spending time on my business every day, whether or not I'm exercising, whether I'm doing my devotional. And even though these are not things I forget about per se, because I do try to do them every single day, they're definitely ingrained in my memory and part of my routine now. So I don't use this as like a to-do list because I don't need that to remember it, but it is somehow motivating for me to know that I get to check it off, and that as I'm looking back on my week each week, I'll be able to see those, small victories of taking time every day to do my devotional, taking time every day to work out, and just seeing the progress that I make over time. And the more check marks that I get, that is motivating to me personally. And then it also just keeps it kind of in the front of my brain, because I'm looking at this all day, every day, because this is kind of the page that I keep my planner opened up to. I keep it open to this daily checklist and my routines. So this has been a very encouraging and motivational page for me this quarter. In addition, my weekly tracking page has been also very motivational and helpful. So this is where I track pretty much all of the other habits that I'm working on. This is where I track, all of my homekeeping tasks for the most part. This is where I'm tracking my memory track. So whether or not I wrote down some memories for that week. I actually did get caught up on that, so I'll check those off. And again, it's, I'm not shooting for perfection on this. It's more just motivational for me to, get to check something off. And some of these things, since I do try to do them about once a week, sometimes it actually is helpful for me to go through and use it more as a to-do list when I'm planning out my day. I can look on here and see, what have I not gotten done yet this week? Because, these are just all the little things that I try to do every week that if I didn't have them written down somewhere, some of them would probably slip through the cracks. Because my brain just doesn't work that well anymore. I kind of need something to refer to kind of jog my memory as I'm trying to plan my days. So yeah, overall, those two pages, the daily tracking page and the weekly tracking page, have been so helpful for me. The main thing in my system, I think that it clicked for me sometime in 2021 is when I started doing this, where I was keeping my weekly view and my weekly habits right next to each other, so that every time I look at this weekly view, I'm also looking at my weekly habits. And same thing with the daily page, my daily view and my daily habits. Something about this setup of having them visible at the same time has totally changed tracking for me. I used to be not very good at tracking, and I found it a little bit more cumbersome than helpful. And something about this particular setup, it has been working really well for me for the past many months, and for all of 2022 so far. It really, like I said, it just motivates me, and it keeps me on top of those things that I want to be priorities in my life, but that aren't always easy to remember or to feel motivated to do on a daily basis. So those are things that I've found really helpful in my system. And I will just kind of give you guys a peek looking back. I have been asked in a couple different videos how I keep my past pages. So I tend to take pages out of my planner anytime that it starts getting over full, really. So as soon as the pages are kind of creeping up on the rings and it's hard to open and close. So I'm actually probably needing to take some out now. It's looking pretty full currently. But usually it's about once every 2 months, I'd say, I take pages out. So you can see this is, these are my January pages. Just got my weekly pages in here. And there's my weekly habit tracking page from January. And then I've got my February pages. I do use the same color highlighter all throughout the month so that it's very easy for me just at a glance to see This is pink. This has got to be February. And that's consistent all through my planner. So like the monthly page for January is going to be blue. For February, it's pink. And that just, those colors, for some reason, I think I've been doing that for a couple years now. And so the colors really stick to certain months in my mind. So February is always pink, March is often green, so on and so forth. And by using the same color for the whole month, it makes it really easy for me to find things in my planner quickly. So I have pretty much been using the exact same monthly, weekly, and daily setup all year so far, just like I described in my setup video at the beginning of the year. It's just a typical monthly grid, and I do keep my months in my planner for the whole year so that I can refer back to things if I need to. And on the back of the monthly grid, I just have a to-do list on one side. This is just like general to-dos, house projects, anything personal or house related, it goes there. And then on the back is my business, my videos, mostly my video schedule is what I keep there. Sometimes I'll have a couple other notes down at the bottom, but usually just business to-dos on the back side. So I just have that same setup for every month. This is April that's coming up. So I've got my monthly grid, my to-do list, and then my videos I want to try to film. I accidentally highlighted in green and purple there. Whoops, so it looks kind of gray. Oh well. And then so on and so forth for the rest of the year. I've got the months set up, but I don't have them highlighted yet. My weeks have been consistent for the whole year, so I just have a week on one page on the left-hand side, and then a to-do list and dinner plans on the right-hand side. And I put my weekly habit tracker page right in the middle so that I can see it all the time throughout the week. So this is the current week. There's the week view, the to-do list, and then my habit tracker in the middle. For my daily pages, I just use dot grid paper. So far this year, that's what I've been doing. I always slit the holes, so I just use the scissors to cut in to the holes so that I can take it out really easily. I do not have any problems with pages falling out from doing that. The paper I'm using is, I think this is a 28-pound weight. And so the thicker the paper, definitely the better it will stay in with those holes cut. But even with just a 28-pound paper, which is pretty lightweight overall, it stays in just fine. And I don't really save my daily pages after that month. I pretty much take them out and recycle them. I'll usually take one more glance through and see if there's anything that I needed to, put onto a weekly page or a monthly page that I needed to remember. But for the most part, I just cannot see myself ever realistically looking back on these in the future, these daily pages. And so I don't save them. I just go ahead and recycle them. I was saving them in past years, and then I realized I had like a ton of extra inserts that were used that I never looked back on. And so I threw away a ton of old ones last year, and this year I'm just not even trying to save the dailies. So that's why the slits don't bother me at all on those. But I do always do my daily page on the left-hand side, and that way it can be easily viewed at the same time as my daily routine page. And so how I do that is I just write on the left-hand side of my dot grid, and then for the next day, I actually flip the paper upside down. So, the previous day is gonna be upside down on the back, but that's totally fine with me. Doesn't bother me. I just go ahead and write on the left-hand side of that page, and then I just leave it in my planner that way. I do sometimes refer to these like during that same week still, if I want to make sure I didn't, forget to do something from a previous day. So I do like to have them in there even though they're upside down. But then once the month is over, I just toss those. So that's my, my main planner setup that has helped me so much for this beginning of the year to stay on top of those goals and habits that I'm working on. Other than that, I do have a few other things. I have my fitness section here that I've been staying up on. And so this is my main page that I've been tracking my fitness on. It has all of the workouts that I've done for this year so far. And again, I've been kind of color coding the months. I've been highlighting the miles ran in the color for each month. Again, that just helps me to see which month it was really quickly. And then I was also tracking, I was doing the 100 morning meltdown on Beachbody On Demand. But to be honest, I was just kind of getting bored of some of the workouts and I wanted to try some other programs. So I stopped doing those in February, and I've been doing some 21-day fix workouts. I just really like those. I've done it a couple times in the past and I wanted to do them again. So I've been doing some of those, which is fine with me. I'm not usually one to try and accomplish a whole program on there all the time. I tend to kind of jump around, and as long as I'm moving my body, I'm happy with that. So that is how I've been tracking my fitness, and that's been working really well for me as well. It's motivating for me to track so I can see how the whole month went, and that has been fun. For the end of the quarter, I've been able to look back and calculate how many workouts I did. So I did 23 Beachbody On Demand workouts, and then 5 just like I lifted on my own without a video. So that's 28 lifting type workouts for the first quarter. So I didn't get close to meeting my workout goal that I had set. So I definitely need to keep working on that. I did get in 90 miles of running in addition to that. So that I feel decent about, and my goal for the quarter 2 is just to stay consistent or beat it. So kind of greater than or equal to 28 workouts, greater than or equal to 90 miles is my goal. And hopefully if I keep tracking them, I'll be able to look back and see my progress on that. So that's kind of how I've set up my goals for the next quarter. I plan to continue using my habit tracking pages in order to accomplish those habits and accomplish those goals. So the one that is a little vague, I haven't figured out how to track yet, is just that I want to kind of reach out more and get more involved at my church. So I'm not sure how I'm going to track that one, but I'll have to think on that a little bit more. I am going to add date night to my weekly habit tracking page just so that I can see when we actually did have a date night. I want to have at least one per month that is actually planned out, because I think sometimes when I actually put thought into it, and it's not just like, okay, well, we're going to watch a movie or something like that, and it's just kind of random, and I didn't put any thought into it ahead of time. It'll just be a lot more special if I actually plan it out. And some of those date nights are probably just going to be at home. If we don't have a babysitter, which is fine, we can do something fun at home after the kids go to bed. Or if we can get a babysitter, I want to plan out places that we have been wanting to go but haven't had a chance to. So really put some thought into doing at least one date night per month. So I know if I put that on my weekly habit tracker, I will remember to do that, to really put time and effort into planning something fun for us to do. So, or having my husband do that. Either way, it doesn't matter which one of us plans it out, but just spending a little bit more time and intentionality on that. And that way I can just check off which week we did it that month, which week we had a nice date night, and then the next month, so on and so forth. So I think that will really help me. I'm just going to add it to this weekly habit tracking page. Individual time with my kids, that's something I'm needing to focus on again. My younger child has dropped a nap, so now it's been a little bit harder for me to get that time in since the older one is only napping sometimes, and the younger one only has one nap a day now. So I need to find a different time to get that in with each of my kids every day. So I think I'll probably edit this weekly habit tracking page, or actually the daily habit tracking page, The books, we always hit that 3+ books. So I'll probably edit this item to say individual time, and maybe same thing with the preschool activity. We do preschool activities very consistently, so it's not really a goal I'm needing to work on so much anymore. And I'll put Nolan individual time, Wyatt individual time, and that way I can really focus on that for the next month. That is my plan for that. And then let's see what else. Getting outside every single day for mental health, I think that's so helpful. So again, I plan to add that to my daily habit tracking page, is just get outside, and I can check it off that we made sure we spent a good amount of time outside each day. My workouts, again, I showed you my workout tracker where I'm gonna be checking that off, and it's already on my daily habit tracker as well. Zone cleaning is on my daily habit tracker. It's just a continued thing I want to work on, and specifically doing 15 minutes a day, or 15 minutes 5 days a week, and then stopping. It's the stopping time thing that I sometimes have a hard time with. I tend to get carried away and do a lot of zone cleaning and then kind of burn myself out. So I need to continue working on that habit. I think that will be the best way for me to do it. And then focus time and batching for work. Again, those things are already tracked on my daily and weekly tracking. So it's just something I'm continuing to work on. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this kind of goal recap video and how the first quarter has gone for me so far for 2022. Thank you so much for coming by and chatting with me today. I'd love to hear your comments and questions down in the box down below, so definitely send me a note and I'll chat with you down there. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.